Lord here, and this is Grimm's Comics Corner with Vampirella Archives Volume 1. Because we're doing Halloween Horror Month, we're doing a lot of horror comics. And we're doing classic Vampirella. This isn't even like Vampirella Volume 1. This is the Vampirella Magazine 1 to 7. Frazetta. Look at that. Frank Frazetta's version of Vampirella. Dynamite's publishing it, of course. Oh, wow. I'm not even familiar with too many of these artists. Maybe you are. I'm not familiar with too many of these writers either, but we'll find out. Okay, now, before you give me shit, I know how many of y'all read black and white manga. Well, in the United States, a lot of comics, some of them, of course, were only available in black and white. Vampirella was one of them. So if you like manga, you'll like the black and white style of Vampirella, especially these old ones. Vampirella 1, captivating comics about fantastic females. Meet evilly the wildest, weirdest witch to ever cast a spell. Vampirella 3, blast off to a nightmare. Vampirella 4, does this strange girl represent the forces of good or evil? Vampirella 5, illustrated tales to bewitch and bedevil you. Vampirella 6, is it possible to escape your grave? Vampirella 7, what wild manner of being is a witch woman? Digital remastering by Chris Canino. Oh, this is nice. Look at that. Classic art. 50 cents, guys. Illustrated tales to bewitch and bedevil you. Vampirella. Look out, she's waiting inside this first collector's edition for you. Captivating comics about fantastic females. Okay, now, also, this is old, so it's not going to be as professionally formatted as you might like. Hi there, welcome to the coolest girl meets school mag on the market. My name's Vampirella. I'm the newest thing in comic magazines. And if you take me home with you, you can call me Vampy. That's if I don't call you first. Oh. I've put out the call to all the creepiest, eeriest artists in the country, and you know what country, Transylvania. And it'll be a bloody pity if anyone in the whole wide world doesn't get the word about this way out mag of fantastic females. My amazing adventures explode here exclusively every issue, and in addition you get half a dozen other socket-to-you shockers for gals and guys who are wise to the best in bewitching comics. What more do you want? Blood? You got it. Come with me. Ah. Okay, Vampirella. James Warren, Bell Prince, Frank Frazetta did the cover there. That's not the same Billy Graham that you guys are thinking, by the way. Forrest J. Ackerman, he sounds familiar. Contents, Vampirella of Dracula, the one, the only. Oh, she's from Dracula, okay. Look, that even looks a little anime, doesn't it? Just a little bit. Looks a little manga. I'm sorry, I'm using the wrong term. Makes her fantastic debut in this first issue. Deathboat. Good captain is last to leave his ship, but what happens when the last person aboard is a terrified girl? 2 silver bullets. Sweet petite Maria has her problems with wolves and silver bullets. Goddess from the sea. Artist Neil Adams brings to life a mysterious maiden of mayhem. Last act, October. Miss Hortense Pilkington is followed by her family's awful curse. Spaced out girl, excited by the prospect of man on the moon? The story of Amazons in outer space will put you in orbit. Amazons? Outer space? I'm sold. A room full of changes? Doom just won't behave. Care to enter one and find out why? Okay. Aside from something a bit odd about her shoulder blades, you might take this to be an ordinary young lady talking to a shower. Warm. Good. However, you are quite mistaken. How refreshing. Note the bat-like birthmark. It is significant. Soul satisfying. Right down to my soles. Wrong again. This young lady is not gargling in her shower. Lips smacking good. She's drinking her dinner. On her planet, water has the constitution of blood, for she is, kind to my throat. Vampirella of Dracula. Forrest J. Ackerman and Tom Sutton. Now there's a cover you won't get by with. these days. Draculon is literally a planet of blood. By a strange quirk of nature, the water of Draculon is composed of virtually the same combination of elements that on Earth constitute hemoglobin. Thus, on Draculon, a race has developed that depends solely on blood for sustenance. Evolution has taken strange ways on Draculon. Oh, look at that. But the blazing twin suns of Draculon have caused a drought in the rivers of blood. Thirsty, sob, gasp, Vampirella, like the rest of her race, is weak from the loss of food. Oh, for a drink. Vampirella, a spaceship from another world, has crashed on the outskirts of Gossi Bram. Odds Blockins. I'll check it out with wings on. I hope I have enough energy to fly. Phew, the flying's rough. Disaster. You said it. Maybe I better make my approach in my other form. Hey, that looks like a giant bat. Could be dangerous. No sense taking chances on a strange planet. Zap! Ouch! I'll fix them for that. I'll will myself into invisibility. I'll creep up on them and they'll never know what got them. Vampirella, not realizing how weak she is from days without food, has lost her power of invisibility and shape-changing is beginning to revert to her natural form. What the? Good lord, an interplanetary ghost? My Dracarate jab means business. Dracarate? Okay. Gah! Hell hath no fury like a woman scorched. H2O. Water flows in their veins. Maybe there are more of those men things inside. On Draculon, the formula for water is hemoglobin doubled with oxygen. Hibernator system. Smorgasblood. You won't have died in vain. Vampirella is doing her thing and enjoying every drop of it. On Earth, we'd call it a bloodbath. Feast come, feast served. Next issue. Beware Earth. Vampirella is coming. Deathboat. Ooh, look at her. Interested in vampire stories, reader bleeders? But sick of the same old rot about red clotted cloaks and crumbling crypts? Looking for something disgustingly new and cute? Well, then take a seasick cruise on a strife boat. There's a vampire loose on the... Okay, Death Boat. The golden dawn kisses the sea, as if cleansing the act of horror perpetrated by Angela Waller with blood obscenely staining her otherwise untarnished fingers. She lifts the weighty body of a man she loved, as if possessed by a supernatural strength. Goodbye, Michael. I'm sorry. Then the pounding of her heart slowing to a steady rhythm, her eyes staring towards the unchanging horizon like two glass marbles she recalls. The sound of great luxury liner's fire alarm still rang in Angela's ears. The sight of flames engulfing, eating panic-stricken passengers fleeing to nothing to save certain death still violated her memory. Her only hope lay in memory of Michael Rogers, a stranger who pulled her from the ship, through of the choking smoke, into the safety of the lifeboat. Michael, if it weren't for you, you'd freeze, that's all. Now snuggle up, keep warm, and get some sleep. You can use it. The cruise to nowhere across the ocean was boring the first hour until the rocking surface was split by, Look, it is sharks! They is following us! Michael, those fins! Don't worry, honey. They can't hurt us as long as we stay on board. Now come on, try and get all the sleep you can. We've got a long way to go. But where? I don't know. And so the sun descended, only to be replaced by the ample moon, hanging overhead in an ebony sea, and the weary crew slept, dreaming of better times, unaware that the ghastly specter of doom had embarked with them. Death had departed as silently as it had arrived, but in its wake was the grim testimony of its visitation. What's all the commotion? What? Oh, Michael, good Lord, he's... As if held by magnetic force, Michael Rogers gawks at the bleeding corpse that only hours before had been a breathing human being. Yeah, he is dead, all right. Dead like some animal bit him to death. Look at those wounds. Sharks. It was sharks that got him, nothing else. Sharks don't jump on board ship and attack people while they sleep. Nein! It was not sharks. I know what it was. I know from the old country. Those marks on the throat, the marks of Nosferatu. Vampire! What? Why, you're mad! Like a man possessed, he sprang, grabbing the somber man with hateful tenacity. On you, with your death, face white like death, your wolfish eyes, just like the old legends say. You are the vampire, and you must be destroyed before you get another of us. The legends say that vampires must remain in their coffins during the day. Perhaps this is just a myth, but the stake of wood or iron, the stake is real. You fanatic! No, this is insane. I won't let you. No, I beg of you, I'm not. His brain battling the ravings of the man, Michael's fists tightened. But he stopped. He was stopped cold when, sorry, I have to do this. He's right. Cthulhu! Oh my God! Aye! The bleeding body was immediately greeted by the wolves of the sea. Now we are through with your accursed evil. Now we have nothing more to fear. Oh, Michael, it was terrible. Good God, the madman, he really did it. You won't get in my way this time, buddy. Within the space of a heartbeat, Michael Rogers sprang to his feet. Filthy murderer! Even a killer doesn't deserve to die like that. He may have been innocent. You are like a maddened beast. Help! But you're worse than any superstitious vampire legend and don't deserve to live. No, don't! And taxing all his strength, blending sheer force with undiluted hatred, Michael swings. Helpless, his final thoughts dwelling on the snarling visage of the American. His eyes stream with blood, and his flesh feels the excruciating pain of gashing jaws. But the horror had not yet ended early. But the horror had not yet ended early the next morning. Angela awakes before Michael, as if drawn from slumber by a fateful hand. And again, no, the vampire again! Gripped by a terrible realization, the girl silently moves, eyes streaming cold tears towards Michael's knapsack. Oh, Michael, dear, why did it have to be you? Careful not to waken the sleeping form, she kisses him lightly, then after uttering a silent prayer, but it has to be you, dear. There's no one left, and I know it's not me. He said a stake of wood or iron. I can't use the wood, but his knife with its iron should be quicker. I hope you don't feel this. Goodbye, Michael. I love you. The sun is drowning beneath the horizon, and as Angela Waller sits alone, her gnawing conscience only her only company, her thoughts begin to ramble, to drift to ancient legends she has heard as a child and learned to forget. Vampires, the undead, able to change form to a bat, a mist, a wolf, so why not? Angela did not even blink as the wood beneath her creaked and twisted and took on a new and unholy shape. A lifeboat. Looks like poor Angela is in for a stormy ride, and she's such a fragile girl. Tisk tisk. The end. This is one way to cool it, gang. Up here in backwoods Canada, where people still fear the loup garou, probably like garou, like the fighting game, and where a gun may be loaded with 2 silver bullets. Marie did not see the large gray timber wolf before it struck, nor did she hear it. It just seemed to appear in a furious blur of hair and crimson eyes and gleaming fangs. By then, it was too late. No, father, help me! She tried to struggle. It was useless. Already the weight of the snarling brute had forced her to the snow. Maria, please, father! I'm close enough to get an accurate shot. There! Dead center! Ka-cha! He fired again, and I hit it. I shot it twice through the skull, and it just stands there, staring at me. It's running off, but those eyes, those red eyes, looked almost human. But Maria, are you all right? I think so, father. This blood says you're not. That filthy beast, it hurt you. It doesn't hurt much. I'll be all right. Home, Maria, you'll be safe there, and I can dress those wounds. Inside the welcome cabin, he felt the barrel of the still warm rifle, inspected it. I know I hit that beast. There's no doubt in my mind, Maria, and there's nothing wrong with the gun. And I'll never be able to forget the way that wolf just stared at me when it could have attacked. I had the same feeling when it attacked me, its eyes even burning like they were strangely human. Of course, I should have guessed. Even the moon speaks the truth. Father, what? The full moon, the werewolf moon. My prey is loup garou, and it cannot be killed by my bullets. Curse it! But in the morning, when it is safe, we shall see. Dawn had barely absorbed the night wind. This monster will not have another night of hunting. It has howled at its last moon. And as he left, Maria dreamed strange yet pleasing dreams. The pack, my pack. Follow me, my brothers. Run with the moonbeams. To him we must hurry. I have come, my love. I am yours. Why, what's going on? Why do I somehow want to see the wolf again? What's wrong with me? Already Maria's father had reached his destination. A strange place to enter armed with such an implement of death. And I tell you, father, my bullets could not kill it. It's the man-beast, Luke Garau. I believe you, for a man in my profession frequently encounters the earthly agents of the unholy one. If your heart is pure and your aim is true, these should destroy the Luke Garau. Anything, father. I'll be eternally grateful. What are they? Silver bullets, 2 of them. They should destroy the demon, ending more of Satan's power. Then tonight, when the full moon rises again, I'll have the monster. God be with you. May God indeed be with me, now more than ever. The moon. His moon. The daylight is so long. The daylight lingered for seemingly an eternity. While his human hatred mounted again and again, he checked his rifle for the potent cartridges in futile attempts to break the monotony. Good, and the moon has already started rising. It won't be long now. That cry, it is his cry. Yes, I will. Yes, I must hurry. Already I may be too late. The wolf, it's out there, Maria. Listen to it howl. I'm going to... Maria, are you all right? Answer me. Maria, she's gone. Wolf tracks, my God, the monster has her. I'll get you this time. I'll kill you for this. So what do you guys think is going to happen? Yeah, I think you can figure it out. Tracking the beast's paw prints was no difficult matter, but as he reached the origin of those soul-turning howls, good Lord, there are 2 of them! Well, I have 2 silver bullets, 1 for each of them. I must get a good sight. I wonder what they're waiting for. Why don't they attack? Those eyes, so human. Then he aimed at the white wolf, and as his finger moved, a sudden recognition in the creature's eyes screamed for him to stop. Maria, no, what have I done? The white wolf made a final yelp of pain, then fell a familiar form in the evening snow. Maria! Well, that French-Canadian would still have his daughter if he could have managed to keep his traps shut, and he still owes the good padre for those silver bullets. They don't come cheap. I know an Indian will tell you that. The end. Kind of like Tales of the Crypt, huh? Kids complain a lot these days about there not being enough inn spots to meet kids of the opposite sex. They do. Well, put on your shades and come down to the beach for a moon tan, but I can't promise you what kind of folks you'll meet, for instance, like the goddess from the sea. They were saying kids, but they're probably talking about like teenagers, right? Because they were all considered like kids. It was so much different back in these times, folks. Her skin, blue-green as the waters of her birth, shone majestically under the spray of moonbeams. It almost sounds like Cradle of Filth poetry. Holy, it's a girl, and she's headed this way. When a man sees such a vision, the word wait does not exist. He was dashing out into the sand. Your skin, almost green. I've never seen anyone like you. Who are you and where do you come from? I come from out there, but please, I have little time. Take me into your home. What? It was that easy back then? No. Huh? You didn't really expect me to refuse you, did you? Then we must hurry. When we get inside, please lock the door and pray we will be safe. Assuring the strange beauty that the lock was secure, he turned his gaze to her temptuous stare. Now, honey, let's sit down, and you can tell me what's going on. Hold it. You must be freezing. You just came out of the water. No, I am used to the cold. My name is Laura. And I'm Jim Judson. But your skin. I am not like you. I am from below the sea. From the other water realm you know as Atlantis. Atlantis. I find that hard to believe, but your hair, your skin. There is no way to prove my origin. My appearance should be enough. What is important is that you must hide. Hide you? A beautiful chick like you? From what? From others of my race. I fled from Atlantis to your surface world to escape the tyranny, the suppression of the warlords. But as I escaped, I was observed and followed. I managed to evade them for a while, but they gained on me. There are 7 pursuing me enough to pluck me from this massive surface world. and prevent my revealing to the land dwellers the secrets and horrors of Prevent my revealing to, yeah, we did that right. Prevent my revealing to the land dwellers the secrets and horrors of Atlantis. Please take me far away from here, quickly. Your story is pretty hard to take, but okay. I'll take you to the city where they'll never find you. But the lips of the surface man surprised her protest, and she melted. Suddenly, it seemingly shattering the moment of love between the inhabitants of two worlds. It was instant, and love rather than logic that guided Jim's hands. You might get her eventually, but not till I've done my darndest to prevent you. You expect to stop us with that? The thought of Laura's danger raced through Jim's mind. Seething rage coursed through his veins. Chew on that for a while. Seizing upon the disturbance, Jim's powerful hand yanked away the fallen warlord's weapon. He is only one. Attack the Terran! Zoom! Once the thrill of battle animated Jim Judson, he fought like a demon possessed. Yee! He turns our own power against us. He has slain Namlock. He fights with the spirit of a devilfish. Even as the blood of the Atlanteans burned his nostrils with its stench. Quickly, while he battles, Namjib and Namtil, take the fugitive. Laura's screams incited him to new fury. Jim Judson lunged again and again. Laura, no! Ah! And in his next breath, it's done! Again and again, the beauty screamed as mighty hands dragged her towards the sea. Laura, no! I'll kill both of you! With my bare hands! Stop! Jim! Jim! I'm coming, Laura. They won't take you. Quiet, fool! He's too late! The three Atlanteans vanished below the surface, and with passion abandon, Jim heaved himself after them. Laura! With bursting lungs, Jim pursued, aware that his quest could only lead to death. Can't hold breath longer, but can't go back without her. As the water flooded his body, bloating him, the image of his goddess brought him to grim reality. One brief moment of sanity burst through before blackness claimed Jim's life. Surface men are weak and easy to fool. It was worth the loss of some of my subjects to learn this. Jim Judson blew it, didn't he? He should have realized from the start that the tale of Atlantis would be hard to swallow. Prologue. The motley crew, not motley crew, motley crowd. The motley crowd of villagers flocked about the town like vultures this October day. Just like today. Squire Pilkington felt proud that he had brought the sinful creature to justice. Ooh, they're burning a witch. Yea, and well might ye shiver, Meg Clayton. Though methinks you'll not shiver for long when the ravening flames cleanse the sin from your soul. Let's get on with the burning. Yeah, burn her. Burn, witch, burn. A breathless hush fell upon the crowd as the squire himself dismounted and strode boldly across the square. Do ye repent, Meg Clayton? If you repent now, mercy may be shown you in the other world. No, I do not repent, and you, Squire Pilkington, who bring me to my end. Mere fire will not stop me. To the witch's Sabbath 9 days hence I shall ride with the wind. Ye may burn my corporeal body, but my spirit will survive through the ages. I curse you and your future generations, down to the last member of your clan. October shall bode ill for you and yours. By the Prince of Darkness, aye! It took a long while to burn Meg Clayton. But alas, nothing remained but a few charred pieces of flesh and ashes. 9 days later, on All Hallows Eve, Squire Pilkington died of a fatal kick from his fat bay mare. Oh, damn! A fatal kick! That's some shit right there. Full crack! Ah! A singular occurrence, since his horse was known to be extremely gentle. Meet Miss Hortense Pilkington, Miss Establishment, Miss Straight, Miss Square, and Miss Steak. She's on her way to work. And she's afraid because she knows tonight's really going to turn out to be a real bummer. Last act, October. As Miss Hortense Pilkington straightly walked down the moonlit street, she rued the telephone call that informed her that she would have to walk to her babysitting job, alone. Especially on this of all nights, the last night of dreaded October. Suddenly from the shadows, woo! Boo! Tricks and tweets! Trick or treat, lady. Little heathens, I'll give you a whipping for a treat. These modern parents and their newfangled ideas on how to raise kids. Yee, she really is an old witch. As she walked towards her destination, the dreaded words written in the ancient family Bible echoed through her brain. I curse you and your future generations down to the last member of your clan, October. And faint, silly Aunt Matilda, who bought a special kind of mascara, and indeed it seemed the curse was taking effect. Great Uncle Jonathan had fallen down the stairs. Kathud! And her older sister, Agatha, smack! And vain, silly Aunt Matilda. Okay, here's the Matilda. No, I'm blind! Aye! Kabloom! And her grandfather killed by an exploding water heater. Damn! And pretty teenage cousin Sue fell asleep before remembering to shut off her car's ignition. And her own father, a missionary who had been killed and consumed by a tribe of cannibal Amazons. Her mother died of shock several days later. Well, that's why you don't go to the fucking tribal lands. Hey, you want to hear about Jesus? Meat! Ah, it's walking meat. The gods have given us this gift. You don't want to hear about Jesus, do you? Nope. We'd rather eat you. And they're like meat. It's walking meat. Who cares what it says? And there were others all dead because of events in October. I'm the last one. Oh, what I'd give for midnight in November 1st. Well, nothing much can happen babysitting between 8 o'clock and... What? Strange? Well, why don't you look where you're going, lady? You okay? Yes, I'm all right, and I don't need your help, thank you. Breathless, she arrived at the house only 1 minute before 8. Already 2 narrow escapes, but I'm safe. No. The door swung open, and yee, Satan himself. Come now, Miss Pilkington. I don't look that realistic. Oh, I'm sorry, but you looked like the devil. I didn't recognize you at first. I'm sorry I frightened you. I had to answer the door myself. It's the butler and maid's night off, and we're going to a Halloween costume party. Say, you look nervous. May I get you something to drink? No, thank you. I don't go in for that sort of thing. We have to be going now. Remember, our car will be fixed in time to drive you home later. Yes, our cab is here now. Teddy shouldn't be any trouble, Miss Pilkington. Good evening. The slam of the front door echoed through the house. How utterly pagan. Halloween. I don't suppose they realize they're perpetuating the evil traditions of the devil's advocates. Wicked. Miss Pilkington proceeded to lock all the windows and doors. Teddy followed her about, and when she finally settled, read me a story, please. Let me see that. Wow, this is the worst piece of trash I've ever seen. Blasphemy of the eyes, that's what it is. How could the parents fill their child's mind with such garbage? Especially at bedtime, she thought. I have something much nicer here to read to you. 10 moral tales for little children. I don't want to hear those stories. Oh, don't open it in here. Not tonight. Why not? It won't hurt it. It's busted anyway. Once upon a time, there was a little angel. And oh, you're asleep. Well, it's bedtime anyway. Oh, just a telephone. I better answer it and take a message. Ring! Only a burst of laughter greeted her ears. Hello? What's the matter, Miss Pilkington? Then the phone went dead. Immediately, she replaced the receiver and picked up the sleepy child. Oh, nothing. It was just some children playing Halloween tricks. At least, I hope so. Come on, it's time for bed. Okay, hold on. Yeah, we go to this one and then that one. It's a little confusing there. Miss Pilkington put Teddy down as she entered his nursery. An array of toys was strewn over the floor. Suddenly, "Aye, the curse!" She supervised his prayers, put him to bed, and turned out his light. Another accident. I've got to get a grip on myself. Then she settled down comfortably and extracted from her enormous handbag. Now to what? That sound. Little gems of Victorian verse. Armed with the poker from the fireplace, she timidly tiptoed to the door. Who's out there? Who's knocking? The storm raged suddenly and furiously as Miss Pilkington opened the door, and the spirit of Meg Clayton watched and waited. Who's out there, I say? Please answer me. She slammed the door. Suddenly, the lights went out, leaving Hortense Pilkington enveloped in gloomy darkness. Oh, is it my imagination, or is there something lurking in the shadows for me? The cellar door, I forgot to lock that one. A burglar could have gotten into the house. There it is again. I shouldn't answer it, but if I don't... Ring! Hello? Yes, the lineman, electricity, and the phones have been out due to the storm. Thank you. The lights are back on. Oh, dear God, I don't want to die. Save me from the witch's curse. Suddenly, the voice of young Teddy sounded through the house. Thinking every object in the house to be an agent of her destruction, she carefully ascended the stairs. Oh, Miss Pilkington, Miss Pilkington, Miss Pilkington, please come up. Just now, with only 5 minutes till midnight, and the end of the curse for another year. What is it? Why did you cry out? Her trembling fingers finally located the light switch. Oh, Miss Pilkington, I had an awful dream about an old witch standing over my bed, and she... But that was just a dream. Everything's all right now. Go back to sleep. Kiss me good night first. Miss Pilkington had a violent distaste of any physical contact, but something about the angelic child drew her close. The big clock downstairs already began tolling the hour of midnight and freedom. Bong, 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 bong. Suddenly, the chubby arms became wiry and muscular. The fingers long with talons. She tried to break the embrace. Could not. No, not now. Not like this. Bong, 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 bong. Teddy's eyes were now red demon arms, boring into their own. Then, bong. And Miss Pilkington sank into oblivion. It was hard to tell which witch was which in that one, huh? One thing's for sure, it's not too often a performer as young as Teddy gets a role he can really sink his teeth into. That's all for this one, gang. Prologue. Ken Barcroft had a way with women. At least that's what everyone said. Including Ken. A night rarely went by that he didn't have a date with some luscious girl. Women seemed to melt under his charm. He was the slickest around, and he attracted the opposite sex like flies to honey. Just wait a second, Ken. I mean, after all, this is only our first date. Now, just a minute, Ken. Let me go. Stop it. Do you hear? Stop it or I'll... You animal! Crack! Why, you little... I'm sorry, Ken. I didn't know what I was doing. Please forgive me. You've got to kiss me again. Please. Kiss you? Why, I wouldn't waste my energy. Come back. Don't leave. I don't need you. I can do much better. See you around, baby. The door slams, and the lady killer marches triumphantly outside where... Ye gods, what in heaven's name is that? Calling all space fiends, it's time for Bomb Gorbat, Space Cadet. Grab your zap guns and have a blast, because here come those chicks you've been waiting for. Those spaced out girls. Ken Barcroft's eyes lock upon the silvery disc. The strange craft makes not the slightest hum as it flashes out of the night sky and starts to descend. I've got to be cracking up. That's real, just like the ones I've read about. If my face didn't hurt from that slap, I'd say I was dreaming. It's landing. Might as well be brave about this. If there's some kind of super invaders, they'll get me sooner or later anyway. Smart man. It's opening. What will they be like? Man, now that's what I call an invader. I surrender. I surrender. There is no need for surrender, Earthman. We come in peace. We only wish to speak with you. Come out, girls. I don't know if I'm supposed to speak like, William Shatner. It's like, there is no need for surrender, Earthman. We come in peace. We only wish to speak with you. Come out, girls. More of them, and each one a knockout. Wow. Would I like to have an hour alone with every one of these Amazons? Sure are tall, eh? Well, I like tall girls. Okay, if you're friendly, what do you want? Where are you from? We are from a distant solar system. Our ship is capable of hyperwarp drive. Thus, we span such a tremendous distance in such short a space-time. I wonder what that was supposed to be. And we are here on a mission, most vital, one that involves someone likened to you. Like me? Well, that makes everything even more interesting. All right, I'm listening. Tell me how I can fit in. Our planet's race is almost extinct. Man is extinct. Without man, the race is doomed. Oh, I get it. And you need a man to return to your world to keep your people from dying out. That is correct. Well, you don't have to look any further. Here's your boy, a perfect specimen of manhood. The Earthman speaks wisely. Yes, what do you others say? Do any of you approve? We need a unanimous decision, you know. There are no objections. You shall accompany us to our solar system. There you shall take your most noble position as king. King? Of course, I'll be the only man on the whole planet. What a dream come true. I'm ready whenever you say. Ken enters the ship. In his mind is a spark of ambition. All his daydreams of power are finally reaching the realization they deserve. To think they're actually letting me enter first, like I'm the master. I think I'm going to like this. Yes, sir, I like it very much. There's a blur of silent vibration. The wavering disc ascends, hovers, then departs without notice into the black sky above. We have entered hyper-warp drive. It will be safe to walk about now. Does that mean I won't fall? Good. Then I can get out of this contraption. Yes, there is no sensation of movement or direction now. Well, as long as I have a few hours to kill, I may as well give these dolls a real treat. There's so many. And that looks rather interesting. Okay, Barcroft, do your stuff. Say, doll, since you're not doing anything really important, how about you and I going off for a stroll? And I am sorry, but you may not touch us. You are reserved for the queen of our planet only. The queen? Then being king means more than I thought. That is correct. She's the most beautiful woman in the cosmos. The queen. I've really picked a winner this time. That bit about not touching the girls, it'll be tough, but at least I've got something better to wait for. We must be within range of their planet's gravitational pull. I can feel the sensation already. And within moments, well, look at the welcoming committee. And everyone perfect. If this is any example of what's waiting, wow. Yes, he arrived, the sole man on an entire planet. A king, and yet, this waiting is driving me batty. It's been an hour at least. Where is this queen of theirs? Yeah, why not? Who cares what the rule is about the king? I haven't even met the queen yet. Hey, me? Yes, you, doll. Listen, I'm the king, and you have to do as I command. See? Now get a little closer. No, this must not be. Oh, yeah, that's what you say. Hey, what's that? What's wrong with you? No, you're a robot, an android. All of us are. The queen's built us. The queen will see you now. No, you can't force me into this. Take me back to Earth. I demand it. Put me down. No! The great door closes behind him, and King Ken Barcroft is alone forever with his mate, his queen. Giggle-lock, darling, burbleless, blech. Oh, man. There are 2 lousy lessons to learn from this. Don't trust chicks that are too far out. And don't get suckered into marriage by the wrong girl, despite social position. Some wives can be possessive. Look at this, guys. Back in the day, men got red pills in their comic books. Yep. You think we can do it again? You know, come on, Comicsgate. Come on. We can do it. We can definitely get red pills and morals for men in comics. I think we can do it. If you're sure you're really real, squeal dealers, then this squeal dealers. I wonder what that means. Deranging arrangement won't estrange your sanity from your senses much. Don't look now, browbeaters, but I think you just walked into a room full of changes. I brought house lost in the country. Okay, hold on. I bought a house lost in the country. It was an old house, but well kept by servants, and it was a nice place for me to write my novels. Every room was furnished but one. Perhaps I'll make a game room out of it. The servants aren't here yet. Hello, what can I do for you? Hello, Mr. Blaine. I'm Wendy. My daddy sold you the house. May I see the room? Hey, what room? The one where the old man Kale was murdered. She ran towards the unfurnished room with me in pursuit. I couldn't let the mischievous child run amok through the house. Wendy, come here. Be a good girl. I could not believe or understand what I saw. The empty room was now filled with furniture, the most ridiculous furnishings I'd ever seen. But they pleased Wendy very much. Golly, what a wonderful room. May I play in it for a while? I won't break anything. Stay here, Wendy. I'll be right back. Hi, my name is Linda Velisi. I was coming to welcome you to the village and noticed my sister's bicycle on your porch. I hope she hasn't been annoying you. Not at all, Linda. She's inside, playing. The room had undergone another metamorphosis. What was the purpose? What a charming room, and so different from the others. Did you furnish it yourself? Here I am. Say, this isn't the playroom. Everything's different. What does she mean? Linda, you must tell me about the old man Keel according to your sister. He died in here. How? Mr. Keel spent his entire life in these rooms. They say he was a warlock who practiced black magic. Dead animals were found on his porch. Two children were lost in these woods. Two children who were lost in these woods were never heard from again. My father, at the townspeople's urging, tried to buy the house from him, but Mr. Keel refused to sell. He and my father became bitter enemies. One day Keel was found murdered in this room. They suspected my father, but father is innocent. I believe you. You're too lovely to have a murderer for a father. It's time Wendy and I were leaving. Linda, I'm having a party next week. Bring your dad. Thank you, Mr. Blaine. I will, but perhaps we'll be seeing each other sooner than that. I gave the party. Whatever. Linda and her father had not arrived yet, but I was especially happy to see that my brother Harold had. I was afraid you wouldn't be able to come. After the story you told me on the phone, I couldn't keep away. Let's see your changing room. It's as though the old man's soul is within the room, trying to tell us his murderer by exhibiting the soul of whoever enters that room. Here we are. Are you prepared, Harry, to see your own soul? So this is me. Well, I like my soul. I don't suppose the bunnies are real. I'm afraid not, brother. Nothing is real. Edward! Dad, you know Mr. Blaine, and you must be Harold, Edward's brother. This is my father. I understand my brother and your daughter have been seeing a lot of one another. They use that room as an excuse to see each other. According to Linda, it's like a giant lie detector. They've lured the most prominent folk in the village into it. Tonight is my turn. Hey, father, what's wrong? We're leaving this place, Linda. And you're never going to return here again. Mr. Felici, wait, what did you see in there? I saw old Keel's murder. One of us is a murderer. Only my resentment for Keel silences me now. As the weeks passed, Linda and I met in secret. Admiration for each other grew to love. We vowed to marry despite her father's objections. She even agreed to live with me in the house with the changing room. As Linda and I neared my house on one evening, we noticed a strange light coming from one of the windows. No one is supposed to be in the house at this hour. Isn't that light coming from the changing room? Ah! As we entered, a scream from the room greeted us. Somehow we knew there was no hope for the poor soul within it, but we raced down the hall to him anyway. We heard other sounds, but they were too inhuman to describe. Father! Stay back. I came to destroy the room as I destroyed the warlock Keel, but instead of his soul, I found hell itself waiting for me. That is too great an evil for me to conquer. Blam! It was over. After we wallpapered the room, we turned it into a nursery. Ah. Tis, tis. All those confusing musings over a room with an itch to switch. Well, do you blame it? After all, who likes a wallflower anyway? I'm dying to hear from you. If you've never written to a vampire before, there's no time like the present. Speaking of the present, you are going to have the presence of mind to give yourself one, aren't you? I mean, hint, hint, a subscription to this macabre masterpiece, the only magazine that Uncle Creepy and Cousin Eerie fight over. Send praises and or pan mail, pun mail, or even your very own petrifying pictures for publication in the Scarlet Letters, our readers department, starting next issue. But above all, send money! Money is my life's blood, so give generously. The life you save may crave your corpuscles. Latch on to Vampirella, unclutched by human hands. To make absolutely certain you don't miss one swingle issue, that's a swinging single issue of the world's newest and grooviest comic magazine, fill out the subscription form the way Vampirella fills out her form. Ah! Now, there you go! Let me say that one more time. Fill out the subscription form the way Vampirella fills out her form. And rush it in yesterday. Tomorrow may be too late. Only $3 buys you the next 6 nerve-wracking issues of Vampirella. Wow, it's pretty damn good, ain't it? Wow, $3, right? And you get all 6 issues? Wow. Outside the U.S., please add $1. Well, shit. I'm not even worried about it. Canada, y'all are doing good. Like, man, that's just $4. That's not bad at all. Comics are like $3 a piece now. Your copies will be mailed in a sturdy envelope for collector's condition. Oh, that's cool. I enclose $3 for the next 6 blood-curdling clot off the press issues of the new Vampirella magazine. That screaming sound would be my cheap friends groaning with envy each time the postman arrives with my latest exciting issue. Very interesting. And I'll never be able to forget the way that wolf just stared at me when it could have attacked. It had the same feeling when it attacked me. There's no need for surrender. Oh, okay. All right. Check your heartbeat before reading this magazine. And if it hasn't risen 100 beats per minute by the time you lay the issue down, if you can lay it down, you need a transplant, and we will give you one free. Just tear off the top of your head and mail it to me, Vampirella, care of the ghost office. If you're my kind of bird or boyfriend, you'll lose your mind over me anyway. Ah, so look, read, gasp, shiver over this first collector's edition. Here we go. Alice Vampirella, first issue, 57 pages. Got Vampy 2, November. Illustrated tales to bewitch and bedevil you. Look at that. Great. Love that art. Don't know who did it. This issue, meet Evilly, Vampirella's cousin, the wildest, weirdest witch to ever cast a spell. Or is it Evilly? Might be Evilly. Okay. Ever wonder what it takes to be a woman of parts? Once far back in history, in the dark ages of 1935, before the mind boggles there was any creepy or eerie or Vampirella, one daring female learned the awful answer. Did she live? Shocked to the terrible revelation in this, the first of Vampy's fairy tales. The two mad scientists worked feverishly on their blasphemous project. Time was running out for them, for the monster was getting restless. Frankenstein demanded a mate. That little hunchback whore Fritz brought them a warm female heart. They were too bossy to inquire where he got it, or perhaps they preferred not to know. Then the miracle workers brought their curvy cadaver to life and offered her to Big Frank to be his wife. But she'd have no part of this rabid Romeo, for she knew where his parts came from. The gallows, the graves. So we belong dead, growled Frankenstein, and threw the switch that blew the lab to Thingdom Come. Yes, the bride of Frankenstein on her wedding night went all to pieces. Vampirella, James Warren, publisher, Bel Parente. Okay, a bunch of artists. All right. Contents. Vampy's fairy tales. Vampirella's first tale about a woman of many parts. Evilly. Cousin Evilly vows to vanquish her blood relative Vampirella and destroy her flapping forever. Montezuma's monster. Vince Harmon discovers that the Aztecs were right when they left Montezuma's jungles. Down to Earth. The fantastic story of our girl Vampy and her visit to planet Earth and the strange people who live there. Queen of Horror. To become a howling success, the starlet consents to reveal her all. Listen, Rika. Oh, excuse me. That's just, yeah. The octopus. One tentacle too many can often trap a guy and tangle him up indefinitely. 1, 2, 3. Sometimes togetherness can iron out your troubles, especially if you happen to be a robot. Rhapsody in Red. Better check your next when we conclude this corpuscle concert. All right. The blood of any collection. You might have the issue number 1 of the Gypsy. You might have the issue number 1 of the Gypsy Gazette, but your collection is no fun at all without Vampirella. Get with it. Get the first 2 issues now while it's still easy. Just mail this coupon. Mail this coupon today. $1? Oh, for the first one. 75 cents. They've gone up a little bit. And an extra $1 for that next issue. They went up a little bit. Prologue. Beyond the Black Forest of Volgania, people spoke of a sorceress who cast her magic upon those who inhabited the kingdom. Her spells had webbed black forests, enchanting those who dared to enter. Even demons did not disobey here, for in Castle Evil, her magic as well as her beauty went unquestioned. They knew that Evilly's witchcraft was matched only by her patience with any who sought to dethrone her. Freak! Thus she ruled her domain without error, invoking the powers of the blackest necromancy her ancestors had taught her. And while the Dark Princess spoke her sorcery in Volgania, supposed to be maybe, remained enslaved by her whims. There could be only one sorceress in Black Forest. Quit lying around, tigers, and pad into my pad so we can cat and nip a while. What's a white cat doing in a black cat's magic? Stretch out and I'll scratch an answer across your eye sockets. This ought to be a good one, but that's nothing. When I'm good, I'm very good. It's only when I'm bad that I'm evilly. I think it's supposed to be evilly, but I really like evilly. Whatever. Looking Glass, I've come to see what secrets you have for me. Reflect and tell me, reflect and tell your sorcery that I might rule as majesty. Dark Princess, there are none to fear who dare your vengeance. Would they seek to tempt the fate of you they hear and spells your servants speak. You rule alone, great sorceress. Take pleasure in your fame, enchantment in your subsequence, and evilly is your name, and evilly is your name. You speak words I wish to hear, mirror. Did I not know your fear of me, I might be more pleased with your secrets. Begone now, I summon my servants. There you are, conjurer. Were you hiding your face as well this time? No, my sorceress. I merely walk the gardens, enjoying the view. I have brought you these, those, and what good will I get from your... Spiders! Ha 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 ha! Your Majesty, please, no! What's this? You do not want my favors? Have you no use for such elegant clothing? Enough of this jesting, imp. There is much you must do before the eve of this Sabbath. The guest list, you have it? Yes, your highness. All the invitations have been prepared. Excellent. Halloween comes but once each year. There must be no mistake. See that the invitations are delivered. Yes, your majesty. By royal decree of her Eye Sorceress Evilly, Dark Princess of Valgania, you are commanded by invitation to a grand ball to occur on the sunset of Halloween at Castle Evil this October 31st. May I return your word to her sorceress that she can expect you, Count Vlok? Excuse me, let's do that again. Count de Volak? Should be Count Volak or Count de Volak, something like that. You may, my fine-looking imp. The occasion is most welcome. So word fell through the depths of Black Forest, spread into every haven by the servant conjure. Only the most exalted of Valgania would be there that evening, the most dreaded in all the kingdom. Castle Evil lay in strangled darkness as hurried coaches rolled across the soft, damp ground. For a single midnight, Black Forest became a festive sanctuary. Halloween had arrived. This night, when the moon had turned pumpkin orange, unknown shadows would fly past his grimace, deathless forms of witch and demon, or perhaps even Satan himself. Good evening, sir. Please enter your name in the guest book there. Bong, 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 bong. All bow to her majesty, High Sorceress of Valgania. Rise, subjects of Valgania, your highness. Hear me, our hour has come to bait all mortal beings who dare us, consume them while they hesitate, deciding to ensnare us. For each of you the task is clear as soul. A servant, bring me here before the dawn dispels our fear and doom seeks to despair us. Flap, whap, crack! Bam! The moment has come to unmask ourselves. It is midnight. Remove your disguises. Electric flashes split the bubbling clouds above the sorceress, her hair tossing in the furious wind. She watched them mount the maelstrom as the creatures leaped into the darkness. Tonight you need not hide your purpose. Go now, and bring me the mortals that Halloween will deliver to you. Go! Come and look, ogre. Has another sight ever given you more tempting visions? Show yourself, imp. Conjure. Stop your game, or I'll show you one not too pleasant. I am here, great sorceress. You must see what your looking glass imagines for me. The mirror has freed me from my hideous chains of my ugliness. It returns me the body I was. I see you are as senseless as well as ugly. The mirror tricks your vision, ogre. Only I can return to you what has been undone. Take a good look, gnome. Can your eyes pretend not to see this? Ha! Ha 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 ha! No, no! Oh, sorceress, do well and heed the laughter of your eyes. For other visions keep themselves in treacherous disguise. Beware the dawn that comes too late, grant not your wish to be. Tonight you claim a queenly fate, tomorrow you will not be. I will not? What jest is this, reflector? And if you threaten me, take care I do not smash your crystal eyes. Fool not your thoughts, nor think that I would dare to hope your doom, still unavowed but beckoning you within this very room. Before this night is ended, you will verify your doom. You speak in riddles, image maker. Prove to me your warning by revealing me to my peer. Show me! My sorceress, the mirror ignores your command. It serves the face. It hides. I will smash it. I cannot reveal it. I cannot reveal it. I cannot reveal it. I think not, troll. The glass was afraid to predict any more. No matter, I have other ways to find out. We go to the dungeons. The dungeons, where things untouched by fears of incantation awaited the murmur of bewitchment. Here were her secret armies, her soldiers of revenge. Soldiers of the dead. Will the rattling disturb you, conjure? They cannot harm you yet. Oh, rise up, heathen bones, and obey me. I release you from death. For my bidding, rise up. Crack. Zzz. Who would think to dethrone me? No one, great sorceress. Fools who do merely waste their dreaming. We shall see, little ogre. Perhaps tonight. Whoever thinks this will be an easy match to win will soon learn I have not yet played all of my tricks. Look there, Toad, my subjects return. This mortal has murdered 15 of our kind, sorceress. Once he was a great killer of demons, a hater of fiends. Now I bring you his soul. One by one, soul by soul, they approached Evil's throne with their treasures. Many had been brought to Valganya unwillingly. Many had been persuaded. All had been enslaved. And what wish would you have me grant for the exchange of your gift, witch woman? You may keep your wish, cousin Evely. It is your throne that I want. You, Vampirella. Now I know why the mirror would not cast your reflection, Vampirella. How could it when you have none? I'm afraid you won't be getting my throne, cousin. Instead, here's something else I've been wanting you to have. My other hand created these servants to help capture you, Vampirella. I only use this one when I want to destroy something. No thanks, cousin. You keep your magic. Maybe next time I'll get what I want. There will be no next time for you, Vampirella. No, let's see what happens when you get a taste of your own witchcraft, cousin. And reverse. An answer returned to the Grand Sorceress in a bolt of voltaic witchcraft that struck the mirror reflected. Struck mirror reflected. Turn evil against itself. Transpose the spell of sorcery in the exchange of a mirror. And all this becomes merely the opposite. And the opposite of evil is... good. I've made myself good. All my powers of evil are gone. She's tricked me. I'll get even with you for this, Vampirella. Wait and see. How about lending me your catacomb, kiddies? My whiskers just wilted. And don't forget to claw in next time I meet my archenemy, Vampirella. I've got a perfect plan to pounce on her. Hiss. Spit. Buenos dias, amigos. And all that rot. In this terror tale, we go south of the border and visit the royal chamber of Montezuma, emperor of the Aztec Indian Empire, as it was 400 years ago. Aztec it from me, this is a story that'll keep your wigwam warm. I call it Montezuma's Monster. Oh, gods of the Aztecs, the white men of Cortez have made war upon us, slaughtering our women and children. We must flee our homeland. Bless us in our flight, and bring down the revenge of the gods and the white men from across the sea. I call upon Quetzalcoatl, the feathered serpent god, to guard the treasure. May he inflict cruel and violent death on those who seek to steal it. Bless, too, the great treasures which we have not time to take with us. I have hidden it in a cave, and I myself guard the map. Keep it safe from the white invaders. So the Aztecs fled, and old Montezuma proved to be right. Not only did old Cortez find the treasure, nobody else has either. Oh, excuse me. Not only didn't Cortez find the treasure, nobody else has either. Which brings us to Vince Harmon, a very greedy gent when it comes to baubles, bangles, and beads. Sounds crazy to me. I tell you, it's a cinch. This little map, which I discovered by accident, will lead us to Montezuma's treasure. Yeah, but can we find it? jungle's a killer. I know. Sure, we can find it. It'll be rough, but we'll find it for sure. Well, what have we got to lose? If we find it, we'll be rich. Let's go. This is as far as we drive, boys. From now on, the going gets rough. Give me the machete knife. I'll chop the trail for an hour or so, then somebody else can take over. We've been trekking through this jungle for weeks. These mosquitoes are driving me nuts. You better be right about this treasure, Harmon, or so help me, I'll... Don't worry. Montezuma's map here says we're close to the treasure right now. Wait, I gotta rest. I can't go on. You weakling, you make me sick. We ought to leave you here. No, wait, don't stop now. The map says it's up ahead. A cave. There it is. We're rich. Look at this Indian writing on the wall here. Too bad we can't read none of that lingo. Just because you're ignorant, don't assume everyone else is. I studied the Aztecs for years in order to find this map in the first place. Death and torment to he who covets the treasure of Montezuma, for he shall be struck down by the feathered serpent god Quetzalcoatl. Quetzalcoatl? What's that? Quetzalcoatl was a flying serpent, one of their most fearsome gods. Its spirit could enter the body of any winged thing and turn it into the image of Quetzalcoatl. We're after riches. They just made that junk up to scare people off. Well, I ain't scared. Let's go. Dark in here. Don't worry. See here, the Aztecs left torches in their walls. Well, what's that? It's a representation of Quetzalcoatl. Gruesome, eh? Over there. No. No, it can't be true. Wait, they're not alive. See, they don't move. Dry and mummified. Montezuma's way to scare off superstitious natives. These men must have stood stock still as their blood was slowly drained out of them and replaced with embalming fluid. What an awful way to die. The Aztecs easily equaled the skills of the Egyptians in preserving corpses. When you're finished, Professor, we still have to find this treasure. Come on. Yahoo! We're rich! Ah! Ha ha ha! I can't wait to start spending this. This has been waiting for me a long time. Well, you can spend it here in the jungle. We'll take it... Excuse me. I keep saying Candace Ken for some reason. Well, you can't spend it here in the jungle. We'll take enough to finance an expedition and come back for the rest. The longer we wait, the longer it takes till we can really start living it up. Let's get started. You can relax now, Quetzalcoatl. You kept all these goodies to yourself long enough. So long, Montezuma, and thanks. Ha ha ha. Man, it's hot. There's a blasted buzzard flying around up there. Been following us for hours. I'm going to shoot the thing. The buzzard, it's changing. It's Quetzalcoatl. No. Oh, Lord, it's got him. We must be seeing things. I saw what Anderson was aiming at, and it was a buzzard. The legend, the spirit of Quetzalcoatl, has the power to enter any winged thing. Montezuma's curse is coming true. We've got to get away or it'll get us too. Don't run away. Let's use our intelligence about this thing or we're done for. We know from the legend that Quetzalcoatl can only attack us from the body of a winged creature. I get it. We keep a sharp eye out and shoot any birds before they get too close. That's the 28th bird we blasted, and in another day we'll reach the Jeep. Once we're out of Mexico, the curse will lose effect. Blam! So far, so good. Tomorrow morning we should be on our way back to the States. You take the first watch. Tomorrow we'll split up the gems. Harmon, now that we're almost safe, I've been meaning to talk to you about splitting up the gems. I've been thinking that it might be better if we didn't split them up. Ever. Don't be a fool, Walsh. There's plenty for both of us. Save your breath. You ain't got but a few seconds of it left. Wallach, that mosquito buzzing around your head. It's changing. It's getting bigger. Look out. You don't expect me to fall for that routine, do you? Why, that gag's got whiskers. The curse got him. We thought it meant only birds. I can't swat every mosquito that comes near me. Gotta keep going. Gotta get away. Insects all around. Mustn't let them get me. At last, just wait till I turn some of these gold coins into pesos. A good shave and a haircut should make me a new man. $200 a suit? But the best is none too good for me now. Now I can fly back to the States for good. Muchas gracias, senor. Senor. Muchas gracias, senor. The plane, she is ready for you. You will leave now? I've done it. I've beaten you, Montezuma. Not even Quetzalcoatl can get me now. Wait, what? What happened? Why is it dark? It's so hot. What happened to the light? It can't be. The legend. Any winged thing, it said. Like an airplane. Roar! Poor Harmon. Turned out to be a rather flighty fellow. For carrying out the curse so well, Montezuma's ghost made Quetzalcoatl a knight. He's now called Serpent. I guess this'll teach you to watch out. You don't wind up getting the bird. It's funny. Grr. Blondes like me, Draculina, are supposed to have all the fun. But my brunette twin sister, Vampirella, with her IQ of 2,000, damn, doped out how a crashed rocket worked and zoomed off for an adventure on its home planet. Imagine, my flighty sister is now down to Earth. Well, now that I'm here on Earth, as they call it, I'll have to figure out some way to make some blood money. Say, that looks interesting. Hey, I bet you could win their contest without half trying. Contest? Monsterella. Do you qualify? Trip to Hollywood. Call it offices. Thank you. I hope I got the bird right and my hypnotism will hold till I get away. $50. Hey, lady, what the... But Vampy, fleet like the wind, was on her way to the publisher's office. Her feet did not seem to touch the ground. Contest, here I come. Challenges are in my blood. I can't wait. Hello down there. Bzzz. This is exasperating. There's no one around. Yes, I think I'll chance it. Here I go on a wing and a prayer. Flap. Whee! Knock, knock. Am I nuts? That sounds like knocking, but there's no elevator there. Eek! The elevator's coming up. Rrrr. That is knocking. Knock, knock. Hello, I've come from the Monsterella contest. Am I seeing things? If you'll just join the other applicants. Wow, these Earth girls are pretty earthy. Ready for the auditions, FJ? Ready whenever you are, JW. Okay, Tansy, have the girls stand in the doorway one by one and do their thing. Gosh, great. Oh, wow. Wow. Cool. Smooth. Beautiful and incredibly realistic. Dig those fangs and wings. Can you believe them? Well, I do for Monsterella. Yay, yay, yay. What's your name? Vampirella. Rella. No good. It doesn't relate. I've got it. Aurora. Bambi Aurora. Hey, she's a living one, all right. Maybe Aurora would do a doll on her. Whee! A Monsterella doll. Yeah, I'm glad I thought of that. Ouch. What's the matter? You don't like the idea of a Bambi doll? No, it's not that. I just broke a fingernail. Oh, okay. And you win, fangs down. Here's your ticket to Hollywood and happy flying. Fasten your safety belts. Suddenly, disaster strikes. Help! God! Oh! Don't you believe it? Vampirella lives. The plain truth is, Vampy didn't lose her wings, nor her appetite. With all those crimson corpses, it was sheer smorgasbord. Magazine contest winner Bambi Aurora to have starred in horror picture met horrible death. Several bodies were found to be particularly bloodless. Yup. South Parente, Iowa. Lucky I brought my camera along. I don't like to miss those good shots. Who knows, I might just bump into the Queen of Horror. A girl screams, no one hears her. A scaly creature, part man, part animal, but all monster lunges for her. No, please, stay away from me, please. Aye! Each slushy footstep brings the monstrosity nearer. She does not see that root. No, it'll get me now. Isn't there anyone who can save me? But there's no one to help her. No one to fire the bullet that could save her life. Slip. Ah, yeah. But before the savage claws can tear into the girl's milky flesh, cut, and print. That wraps up another one, people. Move. Listen, Rico, you know I can't understand a word you're saying through that rubber headpiece you're wearing. Take it off. Phew! I can breathe again. Sometimes I wish I'd have become an actor instead of a monster. How was I, Mr. Kratzman? You were wonderful, my dear. Simply splendid. Now, what was it you were saying, Rico? I just wanted to know how that take was. I put my all into it. Beautiful, just beautiful. And the last shot we have to get. Sure glad we shoot these things out of sequence. Save the best for last, you know. Mr. Katzman, oops, sorry, sir. In a hurry, you see, Mr. Katzman? I'm right here, Penworthy. Ouch, watch where you're going. Excuse me, Rico, I'll talk to you later, and thanks. Sure thing, Mr. Katzman. What on earth is it, Penworthy? It's just that, sorry, Mr. Katzman. Get up, Penworthy. Here, give me those papers. It's from the studio executives, Mr. Katzman. I can read, can't I? According to this, my last 5 horror films have lost more money than they care to discuss. If I don't come up with a new angle that'll make more money and fast, that'll make money and fast. You don't even make more money. Penworthy, we've got to do something. Space creatures, flying saucers, they're all old hat. Give me a new angle right away. Yes, sir, Mr. Katzman. I'm on my way. But where to? Season's greetings from your water brother Rico, the gill monster Chapman. There you are, my friend. Thank you, and I'll look forward to the preview of The Gill Monster Strikes Back. What am I gonna do? What can I do? I'm as good as fired, broke, busted. Oh, wait, that man, I recognize him, and he may be the answer to all our problems. If anyone knows about monsters and such, he does. Excuse me, but aren't you Gory Hackerman? Guilty, I'm afraid. Just came down to meet the Gill Monster. Well, you can do more than that, Mr. Hackerman. You can save my life. In almost a single breath, Penworthy blurts out his dilemma to the Kindly magazine editor. You can see, Mr. Hackerman, I'm rather desperate. We want to come up with new quality products, but we just can't think of the right idea. It seems to me Monsterdom could use something new and fresh. I've got it. The old monsters are still good, but you need a new face. A girl, that's it. A queen of horror. A Barbarella type actress. There's Barbarella. But one who could portray a werewolf or vampire or some other classic fiend of, say, the 30s or 40s. Thank you. Suicide is no longer necessary. Oof, we're saved. Sure do meet some strange ones in this business. I think maybe I should give all this up and become a comic book collector. Well, what earth-shaking news do you have for me, Penworthy? Or should I say, Penworthless? I've got the answer, Mr. Katzman, sir. A girl horror star, a queen of horror, a sexy werewolf. Penworthy, I've got it. We'll have a beautiful girl, a queen of horror. It'll start a new cycle of monster epics. Well, what do you think of my idea? Brilliant, Mr. Katzman, just brilliant. But who shall she be? No, perhaps. No, maybe. Definitely not. Mr. Katzman, sir, what about her? She does have the correct physical requirements. Yes, she just might do. Definitely. Isn't that right, Penworthy? Yes, sir. What's wrong, you nincompoop? She's great to look at, but she couldn't act her way out of a wet issue of Variety. Go, Penworthy, go, and don't come back here till you've found an actress. Get that, Penworthy? A beautiful actress. Yes, sir, Mr. Katzman, sir. Shortly, at the most far-in spot on the strip. Oops, excuse me, pardon me, sorry. This is as good a place as any to look. Wait, you're just what we've been looking for. Miss, may I sit down? I assure you, I'm here to make you a star. Are you kidding, Mac? Here, look at my identification. I work for Democracy Pictures. We need a face, a new star right away. Can you act? Well, I did a few plays some years ago, and... Fine, come with me. We haven't a minute to lose. But, wait, what's... Huh? What? The phone at this hour? Ring! Penworthy, what do you mean by getting me up at... What's that? A real knockout and she can act? Penworthy, you're beautiful. Be at my office at 9 sharp. And at 9 a.m. sharp, an anxious Nat Katzman is pleased to find. Perfect. Penworthy, see me later about a raise. I'm giving her an immediate screen test. Tell me, my dear, what is your name? Mildred. Mildred Strudd. We can change that. I've got it. As of right now, you're Adriana Perfect. It's like a porn star name. Presently. Don't worry. This stuff they put on will come off easy. You're going to test for the lead in my new picture. The Werewolf of the Boutique. The what? I'm going to play a werewolf? That's the most ridiculous thing I ever heard. I know, it's different. But that's what we want, my dear, to make you a new terror star. Yes, there have been female werewolves before in movies. Remember Cry the Werewolf back in the 40s? But never one like you, Adriana. I promise you that. Wow, okay, quiet on the set. Roll 'em. Action! Speed! And after the precious test footage is developed and printed, every frame a cameo. Penworthy, tell me I'm a genius for thinking of this. Thank you, Penworthy. Excuse me. You're a genius, Mr. Katzman, a genius. Thank you, Penworthy. That's alright, sir. I just felt like saying it. I still think the idea of me playing a movie werewolf is ridiculous. Thus, the new wave of monster movies is launched with Werewolf of the Boutique. Man, that's what I call a werewolf. I wouldn't mind being attacked by that. When's the next full moon? Tremendous. I've become her fan for life. It was a different time, folks. Yeah, that Adriana has sure got it. What a wolf. Adriana was a star, a queen of horror. Fan clubs, new convertibles. All were hers for the making, and Nat Katzman continued to cast her in such epics as The Loves of the Mummy, The Voluptuous Vampire, and of course Return of the Boutique Werewolf. We're at the top, Penworthy. We're being imitated by other studios. That's how I know we've made it, and... Hello, Adriana. I'd like to speak to you about our next picture, The Female Frankenstein Battles of Boutique Werewolf. With you playing both parts tonight? Fine. At my apartment? 8 o'clock. Beautiful. 8 o'clock sharp. Bye. She's actually coming here. I've waited a long time for this. Gotta hurry. She'll be here any second now. That's her now. I'll be right there, Adriana, honey. Ring. Right on time, Nick. Right on time, NK. I don't know what that's supposed to be. Adriana, you look lovely. Please come in. Adriana, I didn't really call you over to talk about the new film. I wanted to... Adriana, I love you. Oh, Nat, I'm really grateful for all you've done for me. But actually, no man could be happy with me. But Adriana, why? Remember when I laughed at you for wanting me to play a werewolf? At the time, I thought it was funny. I always thought people went to the movies to escape the drudgeries of everyday life, to get away from it all. True, but that's what I was trying to do when Mr. Penworthy discovered me. Trying to escape, trying to forget. But you've made me remember what I was before you made me a star, before I became the queen of horror. And just what were you before, Adriana? Can't you guess? Isn't it all rather obvious, my parts in those movies? How well I played my parts? Adriana, what are you saying? Even without any makeup? No! Well, that winds up this story, movie buffs. Looks like old NK found more horror than he put in the script for his queen, eh? Anyway, just goes to prove stardom doesn't change everybody. Somebody's changed from moondom. No one goes to Grey Collar House anymore. They say that very soon the sea will eat it away. The cliff which supports the old place, and it will fall into waters and be washed away. Someone might have been able to save the house, but that was before the coming of the octopus. Fantastic, Carl. I've never seen species of that size before. Yes, my dear brother, I thought that you would be pleased. As you can see, the ocean has worked its way into this dried-up well and filled with these monsters. When the tide comes in, the water level is only a few feet from the edge of the well. Be careful, children. Don't stand so close. I believe that I have discovered the underground cavern which leads to the well. If I am right, we may be able to trace where these monsters come from. Later that evening, at dinner. The sea trek you propose could run into a great deal of money. Where do you expect to obtain your finances? That's why I asked you to drive out here, Gary. You could use part of your inheritance to... I'm sorry, Carl, but the inheritance is for the children. It's just about time for them to be heading for bed. Rick, Susan. Dad, this place scares me, and so does Uncle Carl. I understand, Rick, but I promise never to let anything happen to you. You just take care of your sister, and I'll watch over both of you. The next day, the two brothers set out to explore Carl Greycollar's theory. Where are the children? They're waiting for us at the well. Cautiously, they swim their way through the foreboding tunnel, aware that at any moment they might be confronted by a murderous form of marine life. Carl, look, the octopus. Your theory was correct. This is the tunnel to the well. Sorry, Gary, but it's time to test out another theory. Is blood thicker than water? Poor Gary. He could have never guessed that I imported those things as part of my plot to murder him for his inheritance. As soon as I can be rid of his two little brats, it will all be mine. It is evening, and the two children vainly await the emergence of their father from the well. Can you see them, Rick? No, Sue. All I can see is the octopus. Rick, look out! Uncle Carl! Ah! The octopus has got him. It's dragging him under. It's dragging him under, rather. Rick tries to confront his frightened sister. It's all right, Sue. We'll wait in the house until Father comes. He said he would protect us, remember? Rick and Susan try to sleep, unaware that the rising tide brings in a terror beyond comprehension. A monster slithers out of the well that is more than just octopus. Rick, wake up. I hear a noise at the door. Don't worry, the door is locked. It's a wet slashing sound, and I can hear faint sucking noises. Something's coming from under the door. Rick and Susan are struck into wordless fear as they confront the monstrosity with the evil soul of their Uncle Carl. Ha 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 ha. Don't try, pretty ones. There is no escape from me. I shall have my revenge. Twing! One more. Twang! There we go. Dad! Yes, my darlings, I told you that I would always protect you. Tis tis, some guys would rather lose a little face than get sucked into a fishy deal. Really now, from one angel fish to another, it's not worth crabbing about. Hi, Stingers. Here's a pain in the vein about some robot people metal androids. Alive, you know. Cleet and Leah, our hero and heroine, would teach us that even transistorized hearts can beat. Listen now as they tell their story to 1, 2, 3. Cleet and Leah have committed the ultimate crime of machinedom. They have experienced emotion. Now they must answer for their crime to their judges. 1, 2, 3. The highest form of electronic intelligence. Leah, since you seem to have caused this crime, we will hear from you first. I was a good android. I belonged to Mr. Mitchell. I cared for the house and the children, Amanda and Kira. I remember little Amanda asking me to read her from a book of fairy tales. That began it. Storybooks were only for humans, but she pleaded, and I gave in. I'd never seen such a magnificent book before. Like the young beauties pictured in the stories, I imagined a gallant knight in chrome-bright armor rescuing me from a menacing ogre. For days I wandered the house dreaming of kingdoms and dragons. I no longer believed I was only a machine. I waited for the hero who would take me away from there. One day, Mark came to call on Kira. I had seen him before, but now he seemed different. Hi, Leah. Is Kira ready yet? No, she isn't, Mark. Mark must have noticed a change in me, because his eyes never left me. For you, Leah, the loveliest Andy. Ooh, I like that. Ever created. Mark, you are my hero. Will you take me away from all this? He won't, but I will. Slam! When she evicted me, I cried. The tears, made perhaps of battery acid, came naturally. I was alone now. I ran. The robot searchers pursued me, but I eluded them and made my way to a field of flowers. Then I found her. Go on, Cleet. I was on patrol at Sector DC-9er when I received a call that an Andy was vandalizing a field. Within minutes, I located her and landed my craft. I'd heard of Andy's going berserk, but she wasn't what I'd expected. I saw your patrol car. It was beautiful. Would you like some flowers? I love you. You have violated this protected field. You must leave. She refused to leave. I forced her into the car, but didn't bring her to security. I took her instead to an abandoned post. You may stay here today with your flowers, but tomorrow I must take you to security. You are my hero. I love you. I love you. 1 week later, I was called to my supervisor's office. You were sent to investigate an Andy who violated a protected zone. You reported her removal, yet she was never brought to security. What have you to say? For a long while he waited for me to speak, and I said nothing. Cleet, when a situation arises, a human will handle it any number of ways. For an android, there is only one choice, the one he was programmed to make. If an android chooses any other way, he is malfunctioning. Any other choice, I understood the consequences of my actions. I knew what I had to do. She was a machine like me, no more important than I, yet to me, she was more important. Cleet, darling, look at these beauties I found in AC Sector. For the 100th time, Leah, you must leave. You see, I told her, but then came the tears. There's no way I could resist her crying. Our love is only an imitation. We can never hope to become human. We are incapable. Robot control, you are both under apprehension. Zong, zit, whoosh. Zoo. Enough. It is time to judge. Humans must be protected from malfunctioning. Machines, guilty. Machines must be allowed to grow to serve mankind better. Not guilty. Guilty. We beat them. They sentenced us out to live our lives in the desert together. There are no flowers, but we're alone. Our own home, let's see what it looks like. Look, darling, flowers. Uh-oh. What a shame. 1, 2, and 3 didn't tell them their new home was within a nuclear bomb testing site. They did send you flowers, though. One bright blossom from hell. When the decontamination team examined the test house, they found 2 androids fused together and an eternal embrace, making them one. What a bomb that story turned out to be. There's one romance that will never, never break up. It's enough to make your iron rust. Sniff. Hi there, music lovers. We got a real neck-numbing number for you this time, written by the noted drawn and quartered composer George Gershwin. So pull up a gravestone and relax. You're about to hear old George's monster piece, Rhapsody in Red. Legend. A storm crackles over the mountains of 20th century Transylvania. For hours, the wheels of the automobile have skidded through the sucking mud, and now before the ominous brick remnant of another age. Confound it, we almost got killed traveling through this storm, and now a blowout. Temper, Richard, it won't help to get angry. I'm sorry, honey. This infernal storm is just getting me down. Now this flat. We should have spent the night at the inn a few miles back. I'd rather be out there. The things they talked about frightened me half to death. You mean those stories about vampires prowling the vicinity? Come on, will you? This isn't the Dark Ages anymore. One thing's certain. We're stuck, but good. Well, no sense catching pneumonia in this rain. Richard, we're not going up there, are we? It's the only place around, unless you can think of something else. But Richard, you don't really believe what they said at the inn, do you? Vampires that sleep in coffins and drink human blood? Baloney! I don't know what to think. Somehow this place looks so evil. This is starting to sound like something out of a Dracula movie, and I'd rather be inside. Coming? I have no choice, do I? Bang, bang, bang! It's, well, opening. Just a broken lock. Open all the time, I bet. Hello, inside. Anyone here? So dark in here. Maybe I can find a light switch, or better yet, maybe we'll find somebody home. Stay close to me. Slam! Oh! There are more cobwebs about this castle, I assure you. Excuse us, please. Our car broke down and we thought we'd stay here for the night. We honestly didn't expect this place to be occupied. I understand. You may take refuge in this castle. It is my home. There is room enough for guests. I am the Countess Margot Sinovitz of Transylvania. I am Richard Anderson, and this is my wife Jane. I'm here on business from the States. I don't get many visitors here, Mr. Anderson. Transylvania is so isolated, you know. I should like to hear more about you both. Excuse me just a moment. Of course, this is very kind of you. A pleasure, Mr. Anderson, a pleasure. I shall return presently. There is no electricity in Castle Sinovitz, but there are hundreds of candles. Feel free to light as many as you please. Countess Sinovitz disappeared into the shadows without a sound, leaving the two visitors almost in darkness. Jane found a candle. It sputtered into life. Richard, what's wrong? Snap out of it. I'm frightened. I feel so strange. What happened? It's the Countess. Oh, Richard, I'm so afraid. Did you notice her teeth? So white and sharp. She tried to hide them. Oh, Jane, wonderful, beautiful Jane. You mustn't let this get to you. It's just a storm, the castle, those superstitious morons back at the inn, and now a countess with a Transylvanian accent. Believe me, when the storm's ended, you'll laugh all this off as a joke. Maybe you're right, but I still don't like the way she looked at you. And did you notice? No mirrors. You know what they say about vampires and mirrors. A lot of superstition, if you ask me. Anyway, I only wish we hadn't come to Transylvania on business, especially so soon after our honeymoon. Transylvania, of all places. You're jealous. I'm sorry for hollering at you out there. But I had to almost drag you inside, remember? I love you, and no exotic countess is going to change that. You mean that? I can tell. Hold me tighter, Richard. Suddenly, what was that? It sounded like organ music. Coming from the next room must be the Countess, but we never saw her come down. I tell you, she's evil. Now stop that, and let's find out for ourselves. I'm afraid we won't like what we find. Click! Lured by the hypnotic strains of the music they find. Come in, come in. I like to share my music with guests. But how did I know you were there? This is no secret. My hearing is quite sensitive. Some people have said I hear as well as a bat. Did you like my composition? It is my own, a rhapsody. This area of the world is famous for such music. Yes, it was beautiful, but we must get some sleep if we're to get an early start. Of course, I have a room that should give you the closest feeling of home in all of Transylvania. You shall both be most comfortable. Good night, my guests. Peaceful dreams. The night was a long one, and though Richard's body demanded rest, something unfathomable force seized upon his will. Can't sleep, can't fight, whatever it is that's drawing me, capturing me. Must go to her. Must not keep her waiting. Must hurry. Richard, Richard, Richard. Yes, my Richard, come to me so we may be as one. Yes, yes, Richard. Yes, as one. You must remain here with me, for now you two are undead. Together we shall drink this country dry and thus enjoy immortality. You shall be my husband in death. Wait, where do you run? There's something I must attend to first. Wait, do not do the thing I suspect. Do not act foolishly, Richard. Come back, we must stay together. Richard, you didn't. Oh, but I did, my dear Countess. I did. Scratch. I said I'd always love you, dear, and now I can give you something a traveling insurance man couldn't. Eternal life. Till death do us part, if that's the correct expression. In a way that's already happened. Jane? Anyway, Countess Sinovich sure learned her lesson. Never develop a taste for foreigners. This plant actually eats insects and bits of meat. $1 for the world's most unusual houseplant. Feed it raw beef. What? Admired by Charles Darwin. Well, I'll be damned. No Canadian orders. Let you draw any person in 1 minute. No talent, no lessons. Yes, anyone can draw or sketch or paint anything now. The very first time you use the magic art reproducer like a professional artist, you can have an accurate original drawing that anyone would think an artist had done. Use it on any desk, table, board, etc., indoors or outdoors. Have fun. Be popular. Everyone will ask you to draw them. After a short time, you may find you can draw well without the magic art reproducer because you have developed a knack and feeling artists have, which may lead to a good paying art career. Free valuable art book. And you get Simple Secrets of Art, Tricks of the Trade. $1.98. Magic lantern throws huge image on the wall. Look at that. Yeah, that's cool. Back in the day. Hey, this is what we did before the internet, folks. People were like, oh, you developed all these skills and you did cool things and experimented. Yeah, we did. Super special, exciting paperback books. Frankenstein, Dracula, The Doll Maker, Monsters. Oh, okay. Incredible Hulk, Thor, Boris Karloff's Tales of the Frightened, and of course, Spider-Man. Oh wow, an 8mm movie projector. Okay, that's really cool. That was $29.95, which was actually pretty expensive back then. New LP record album, An Evening with Boris Karloff and his friends. Oh, very cool. $4.25. That was your record. All right. Check your heartbeat before reading this magazine. If it hasn't risen 100 beats per minute by the time you lay the issue down, if you can, you need a transplant. We will give you one free. Just tear off the top of your head. Mail it to me, Vampirella, care of the Ghost Office. If you're my kind of bird or boyfriend, you'll lose your mind over me. Anyway, so look, read, gasp, shiver over this second fantastic issue. And we have 3. Now, a lot of you are like, Grim, these are long. Are you really going to read the whole thing? No. We'll read 3 and 4 tomorrow. But I've also got other books I'm reading too. I just didn't realize these were going to be collections. Now there's 5 of these. And then there's the Masters series, which is a little different. And I think they're all Vampirella tales, but I'm not sure. So we'll be going through those. And hopefully I'll have some interesting stuff for you in this next issue as well. Let's see. Let's look at the next issue, though, just to see what we've got. Oh, there's a Vampy's. We'll do the Vampy's fairy tales. Moon Day, 1969, when the Eagle landed on the lunar sea of tranquility, the gasping world grasped the fact that the Sea of Stars would never be tranquil again. A 1956 science fiction movie foreshadowed that one day the human race might come face to face with one queen of outer space. Let me remind you about it in this latest of Vampy's fairy tales. 1985. Oof, I was born that year. No sooner had Earth's first astronauts on Venus landed on the veiled evening star of mystery and romance than one of them was viciously attacked by a gigantic beetle. Then they found themselves surrounded by Amazons, minions of a malignant queen who ruled a civilization of advanced science, yet for some sinister reason always kept her countenance masked. When the handsome young leader of the intrepid Earth crew of Rocketeers found himself magnetically attracted to the ruler of our neighbor world next nearest the sun, she demonstrated to him that she was no Venus de Milo, for she had, oh yes, arms! But as beauty could not resist unmasking the Phantom of the Opera, so the spaceman had to see the face of the intriguing and enigmatic woman. Pity, for though she had arms, she lacked charms. In fact, the Queen of Outer Space, like others of her place, had a terrible hidden face of horror. Wonder if they can fix that with plastic surgery today. Probably. It's crazy to think about that. Like, that we can actually do that now. Not seeing anybody that I really know. A lot of the same people. But here we go. Vampy Scarlet Letters. I might go through these. Might go through those letters. Wicked is who wicked does. Does Doom await Cousin Evilly at the end of her search for the tree of her ancestors? Ooh, we're going to find out more about Evilly. Blast off to a nightmare. Are we ruled? If so, by what powers? Care to answer your curiosity? That might be good. 11 footsteps to Lucy Fur. Whoever told you the devil couldn't be a darling? I wake up screaming. Monsters and movie stars find themselves in a strange cinematic circumstance. The Calagia. Death rides the rings of mythology, waiting to offer immortality. Didn't I see you on television? This one-act soap opera is a short turn-on of an old-age theme with a new switch. Slimy situation. While this blathering banality is withering your congeniality, enjoy our slithering speciality. Okay, Scarlet Letters. I'm not going to be doing them all. Oh, wow. Another new magazine and with a Frank Frazetta cover. It was interesting enough, I suppose, for little children. But as a student of anatomy, I just have to ask, does Frazetta know of any girls who are put together quite that way? Oh, fuck this guy. Yes, me. Cover, creepy, eerie. Stories are too... Uh-oh. Complainers, listen to this. Listen to this fucking simp. He's more of a fucking... listen to this cuck, guys. Not just about 3 days ago, read the materialization of vampirellic emanations, that is Vampirella. It has been wondered by many, a few, 2 or 3 at least, why a magazine hasn't been contrived to affect a combination of sex and supernatural literature for a long time. Like, he said basically 3,655 years. The tantalizing cover, taken from true life, I hope for the sake of my Brinkline sanity, is more biomagnetically attractive than Unk or Cause. I don't know what that is. It isn't too difficult to realize who is going to take over the spotlight, so to speak, from creepy and eerie. One thing plagues my mind, however. The stories are too centered upon sex and not upon stories and art value. The solution is evident, though. Just increase the story and art value. The best stories were 2 silver bullets, Goddess from the Sea, and Spaced Out Girls. I must say regrettably, that Billy Graham's artwork in Death Boat was like the things you see in the recent multitude of mass-produced junk that's been out lately. And if you know what I mean. And if this is printed, let me ask all the readers to hold out and not buy the inferior stuff called by names like Beard and Hoodoo and Tales of Errors. This will signify that they can't pass out things like that and expect to reap monetary rewards by expecting us to accept any amount of nothingness as long as it's supernatural. We, science fiction and supernatural fans, accept only the best. Vampirella, creepy and eerie in that order. Thanks. One last thing. When are you going to start selling full color 3x4 Frazetta painting reproduction posters of our vampiristic, ultra groovy Vampirella? Gary Inslee. You have to remember, I'm new to your planet, still having trouble with the language, but thanks, I think. Posters sound like a groovy idea to me, too. Is 3x4 a good size? That was basically the writers telling him to fuck off. Let's see. Okay, good. That one was good. You are divine. I write you this letter so you know that I'm studying vampirism in school. Very interesting, too. Randolph Ford. Night school? Uncle Creepy and Cousin Eerie. Okay, so those were other ones that they were. Please keep Tom Sutton and have Frazetta do all your covers. Room Full of Changes was great. Frank is busy, but he'll be back with us as soon as he gets tired of hanging around the pits with Creepy and Eerie. Yeah, he probably does the Creepy and Eerie stuff more. Let's see. Uh-oh. I just saw the advanced copy of Vampirella number 2, Montezuma's Monster. A story I wrote has been credited to Don Glut. For crying out loud, I need the credit. Can it be changed before the issue comes out, please? And I sure appreciate it if it doesn't happen again. I mean, it ain't much, but I wrote it. Sorry, Bob. Both Don and you have the same blood type. It was my mistake. I won't let it happen again. Oof. Whoa, now, here we go. This is a simp, but it's for Vampirella, so I'm not going to be upset. They did exist, but it was a little different. Because there were guys that would go, I mean, it's like a waifu thing. This is like an early waifu thing. I mean, you want to say waifu simping, whatever. I don't fucking care anymore. Yes, I'm your kind of boyfriend, Vampy. I got latched onto your magazine the minute I started to read it. I gave your creators 100% support in thinking up a new kind of magazine, especially with lots of girls. It's really too bad that Vampirella is a vampire. Otherwise, she's A-okay. As I hold the first collector's edition, I drool over the fantastic cover drawing by Frank Frazetta. I think this is your best portrait, Vampy. I wish I could be the first human to clutch onto you, but you'd be the first from Dracula to clutch onto me. With 2 fangs! The magazine itself is supreme, but it lacks stories about Vampirella herself. That is kind of true. Since this is my first letter to a vampire, I hope it gets printed in the first scarlet letters. Did you ever hear of a blood bribe? No, but it sounds like fun. I just snagged my teeth on your first issue was great. Everybody liked 2 Silver Bullets, but I've seen that done so many times though. Death Boat Space Out Girl. Room Full of Changes wins the booby prize. Mediocre story with poor artwork. It was okay. Just read the first issue. Okay, I'm looking. But now it's unattainable. Okay, it's a very unusual, well illustrated. I enjoyed the excellent cover. Vampirella of Dracula. Yup. Uh-oh. Realizing a good thing in Barbarella, you have done her one better. You've also succeeded in doing her one worse. Seldom does an imitation surpass the original. Your doing so deserves praise on several points. But the basic fact that Vampirella is an imitation detracts somewhat from the apparent qualities of your new strip. Adding the element of horror supernatural to the already existing science fiction of Barbarella is a plus. The reader who is willing to allow this borrowing can, nevertheless, derivative considerable enjoyment from Vampirella. Once you mentally, I think it meant mentally, bypass the imitation factor, it becomes necessary to allow the camp dialogue and captions, which is, of course, also a Barbarella imitation. Okay, that's true. Still, Ackerman managed some very nice twists in the story, almost compelling the reader to forgive the similarities. It was with some surprise that I noticed Don Glut had written the majority of the magazine. Don has been a good friend of mine in the past, and seeing his writing reminded me strongly of him. The frequent misspellings are particularly reminiscent of his writing, and since they were left in the magazine, it seems likely that he is more or less the editor of this magazine. As you notice, I hadn't noticed Don Glut was a poor speller, though not the editor. He's a good writer, don't you think? Can your mailman take it? Sure he can. And you can prove it for yourself. Just mail this coupon for subscriptions to any of the terrific Warren magazines. Then relax, your mailman will do the rest. Your mags will arrive in a safe and strong envelope, and you'll die of pleasure. 6 issues, $3. 12 issues, $5. It's pretty crazy. Okay. So, that's where we're going to go ahead and end it right now. We'll be right back with the new tale in, well, just a couple hours, I guess. But yeah, hope you guys have enjoyed Vampirella. I have, and all these other stories have been good too. I love these other stories, it's like Tales of the Crypt, Tales from the Crypt, and maybe I should do some Tales from the Crypt on my show, like my Red TV, spooky Red TV. I don't know, Halloween Red TV. We'll figure something out. At any rate, this is the Grim Lord, and I'm out for Grim's Comics Corner with Vampirella Comics Magazine, and we'll be back with more tomorrow.